Hey, you guys. We
Hola.
we are here. You said it's almost 20 people in the chat.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I knew they was going to come over there but early when I scheduled the lives. They jump in there and have a whole conversation early.
I see that. And thank you guys. It was actually my son who wasn't feeling well, but he's doing better, guys. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes, yes. It's good to have you back, ma'am, and that your baby is okay.
I had so much I wanted to say on Friday.
I know you
it was
did. I know, but I know how that is when they little like that. They get sick. You like, oh my God, let's go.
Yes. Yes. But I'm here now, guys. I'm here now. We got a lot to talk about this week.
Yes, for the last 3 days.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Oh my goodness. Welcome you guys to Soap Corner Talk, where this is our midweek chat. Happy Hump Day Wednesday. It's me, T, and I got Bree on the line. And you know what we normally do on Wednesdays? We talk about some of the stuff that's been happening since Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I try to with this particular, so I won't have to keep rotating through different pictures. I did it kind of like I do the weekly chat, is pick out some of the stuff that we need to talk about and put it on one collage, so I won't have to keep switching back and forth. Like I have been doing in the past weekly chats. I mean, the past midweek chats. So I want to thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. I've seen some bold people. A few of you guys cross over to the Young and the Restless side to support Y&R content. And you know what? It's just interesting how that works. Because bold is just crazy right now, in regards to when I look at my analytics. Young and the Restless, And even though they have the highest in ratings right now, have you seen the ratings come out and Bold is at the bottom?
Which is surprising, but I think it just depends on the fans' mood. I think the July sweeps for both shows have been pretty good. I think Y&R is a little bit better in my opinion. But I enjoy both shows, so maybe it just depends on the week for the fans.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I also want to mention that they have a whole fan club in this these members of mine. So I've been seeing some folks that is like the president and the vice president and all in the comment section. I don't know if you've been seeing that lately, Humphrey.
I have, and I can't dispute any of that. If you guys are president, vice president, secretary of the YouTube state, however it works.
I think it's great that you guys enjoy the content over here and that you all socialize with each other, even outside of the weekly chats. You guys are kind of connecting with each other and keeping up with each other in the comment section. So I really, 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 really appreciate that. So thank you so much. But I'm glad you guys are having a good time over here.
Yep. Yes, thank you. Almost over 40 people now. Oh my goodness.
Where's your invite? What are you talking about? Oh, they haven't invited you, Allison? Listen, I didn't make up whatever this club is that's been going on in the comment section, but they all keep up with each other, and if you go scroll through the comments, you'll see the actual crew. So I thought it was really, really interesting, but I also think I'm glad you guys are having a lot of fun over here in our little community.
Yep. We appreciate you.
Yep.
And the foolishness.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, to me, like you said, Bree, July sweeps have really been good compared to February, May, and going back to November. Oh, my God, November was trash.
Yeah. I don't know if it's the fact that the writer's strike was completely over and the real writers are putting together some better storylines, but it's a whole lot better.
Yep. All right. Let's talk about some of the stuff that's been going on The Young and the Restless. So, Kyle.
Ooh,
Yeah,
this is the downward spiral. I don't know if his downward spiral is worse than Hope's or one and the same.
yeah, Kyle is pissed off to the highest level of festivity for whatever reason. He's pissed at his mom. I mean, this thing has been brewing for months. And what this actually comes down to, and as much as I'm really, Victor get on my nerves, but the little piece that he did say in regards to the neglect, all of this could have been avoided if he was focused on his own family and not focused on Nikki over the last 6-7 months.
That is true. That's why I feel that Jack deserves every bit of what's about to happen to him.
Mm-hmm.
This is the result of worrying about somebody else's wife.
Yep. Absolutely. He was so focused, dropped everything, leave work, leave meetings, stay up all night, hang out with Nikki at any given time, call me anytime, any day. I am here from you. I'm your fake sponsor. You see what I said? Fake sponsor. Because it was too close. He shouldn't have been her sponsor. That's a conflict of interest all day. She needed somebody.
Exactly.
Go ahead. What'd you say?
That's exactly. I agree.
Yeah, she needed somebody who was impartial and could hold her accountable, not somebody that Nikki could manipulate. And he allowed himself to be put in that position, almost taking his own life. While your family... Go ahead, Bree.
I was going to say, not caring about what's going on with his sister, his wife, what's going on with his company, his son. He completely dropped all that to be Nikki's Uber and Eats driver.
Exactly. Uber Eats, Instacart, Lyft, whatever you want. And no shade to those brands, so, but go ahead.
He was like, you can call me. I'm available morning, noon, and night. I don't give a damn about Diane and their feelings. Like, no. Like, I'm here for you. This is what happens when he decides to neglect his whole family. And I don't feel bad for this man.
Mm-mm.
He knows the type of man that he's dealing with now. And the fact that he wanted to try to be... he wanted to be superhero to Victor Newman's wife. What was the result he was expecting?
Yeah. Now, I gotta say, and Bree, you and I said this before, this is still Victor having a little bit of insecurity because her ex was the one out of anybody in his family to get her to go to rehab. Now, dumb as it was on what he did, Victor is also ego bruised.
He got so ego bruised and he's on a whole emotional roller coaster. He got all these chess pieces in play. He spent money to buy a whole company to go after Jack because he was in his feelings.
And the interesting thing about all of this is that I know Victor probably say, hey, I can take care of two birds with one stone. But like you've always been saying, Tucker walked away with a wad of cash.
Exactly. And if he wanted to, have the ammunition, he got the money and the funds to really try to take down, I guess, what's going to be left of Jabot. I wonder if that's what's going to happen. But either which way, all of this could have been prevented had Jack focused on his own family.
Yep. Absolutely. And all that. But here's the thing. Jack knew what was going on between Diane and Kyle, and he did nothing. Oh, let you guys figure it out. No, this is your co-CEO and your COO. I think you need to get in the trenches with them and hash this out.
Especially since his CEO or co-CEO has little to no experience in that position. If anything, he needed to be keeping a closer eye on what the deals that were happening, how her performance is, so that Kyle wouldn't have to step in and clean up after her mess. Mm-hmm. This is Jack's doing, and he's still insisting on her being in that position.
Yep. Kyle, as crazy as that was last week, and you probably wanted to talk about this too. Um, Kyle put an ultimatum on the table. Put me in that position.
Kyle doesn't deserve a damn thing. He has proven he is unloyal to his family, and he's proven that he is spoiled. I feel like after the last time he stepped out on his family, he doesn't deserve the position he had. Even taking orders from Diane. Granted that his birthright, okay, then he needs to act like that's his birthright. Just because he's been on his best behavior for the past several months doesn't neglect the fact that he has backstabbed his family numerous occasions for his own personal gain. And nobody would put someone in a CEO position or co-CEO position who's proven to be unloyal, whether it's family or not. That's why Billy is trying to have like the little power play that he's making over at Abbott and Chancellor, because he knows he's kind of screwed things up for himself over Jabot, because he also has an issue with loyalty too.
Yeah, but the thing is, Kyle is qualified. I mean, he has the skill set to be in that position. Diane does not.
Absolutely.
And the thing is, I think if they had worked this thing out, Diane should have took a step back and said, hey, you know what? I'm going to let my son and my husband go ahead and run this company together. I'll stay over in the talent office. She actually is not qualified for that job, but they slid her in there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like she didn't need to. I just think that and then she tried to fire him without Jack knowing about it, and then Jack happened to show up, and it's just a mess.
Well, I think it was a timing thing. I don't think she was expecting Jack to show up, but she said that she tried to reach out to him, but this woman has tried to give up her position numerous occasions. It's Jack who's saying, no, I want you. You're qualified for this.
Yep. Jack is an idiot.
Yeah, he is. And it shows that he's making this weird decision making. And he's not even putting his company or his family first. And that is why a lot of this stuff with Victor is coming his way now. And rightfully so.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, we'll see what else is going to happen, because now, he now knows that Glissade is now being ran by Kyle. That's coming as a direct competition toward Jabot. Now, one thing Diane mentioned when Kyle came back to the office was the fact that he knows everything about Jabot. Would he actually take those company secrets and all that stuff, and maybe even take some clients from them to come over to, for Glissade?
Absolutely. Kyle has proven to be ruthless and selfish, and this is really kind of up his alley to just do something like that. So, and Victor picked the right person to run that company. Without question, he's going to bulldoze his way into Jabot. And I feel like this is where either that company is going to be going through bankruptcy or whatever the case is. But Victor's going to put a lot of money into Glissade so they can beat Jabot. Without question, the fact that Kyle knows the blueprint of that company is all the ammunition Victor needs when it comes to Jabot or when it comes to Glissade. So I don't feel bad for Jack. He had an opportunity to focus on his family, his business, and to make sure that no one was able to get a hold of Glissade. I don't know how Victor was able to get a hold of that, but this is Jack's doing.
Here's the other thing that's pretty interesting. Kyle should know, and we said the same thing about Nate when it happened way back when. Victor does not trust anybody who will turn on their own family. Because in his head, if you turn on your own blood, and family is so-called important to Victor, but we know how that's been over the years. But in his head, if you turn on your own blood to get with me, you'll turn on me too.
Exactly. And Kyle should know that from the last few times he's been fired by Victor.
Yep. Why would you keep going back over there? It seemed like the definition of insanity. It's one thing if he says, you know what, I'm going to go and start my own company and do whatever. But you keep going back up under Victor. Why? What is it about Victor? Are you just mad because Victor hates your father? Or are you really looking at Victor as that dude that you like, dang, my dad is a simp. I mean, Victor is the guy. Maybe I should be working for him instead. He keep going back over there.
It's the same thing why Devon pedestalizes Victor. We'll never really know. But I think it's, and you know what kind of made no sense to me? Kyle said that he and Victor have been getting very close. I'm like, when? Mm-hmm. How?
He's an idiot.
Why? Because, yeah, like your hatred towards your father, that's how you feel you're close to Victor. Victor does not give a damn whatsoever. Mm-mm. It's whoever is going to be the better chess piece for him to move. And Kyle, something's going to happen where Kyle's going to fall flat on his face and lose it all. He can't go back to Jabot so far. He's trying to leave the house. And he thinks that this is going to be a permanent position over in Glissade. No, it's not. You're under Victor's thumb, which is like, well, that's why we keep laughing at Audra. She really thinks that she won something. No, you didn't. You're a chess piece for Victor. That's it, and that's all.
Yeah, and Nate, and speaking of that, if we want to move the storyline further, Nate called her out on that today. He's like, wait a minute, if you don't want to work with Kyle, why don't you just fire him? And she was like, well, I can't do that because the investor was the one that picked him. And he was like, well, wait a minute, do you have the final say at this company or not? No. Yeah.
I'll never understand, I guess, the writing for Audra, because this makes her look very less than smart. It's less than, I don't know. It's just not business minded. Mm-mm. Like, what is, like, the type of person Victor Newman is, especially working over at Newman and getting fired by his wife for no reason. Mm-hmm. So why would she feel that working underneath the husband was going to be any better or any different?
And she's seen what happened to Nate.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. And also Kyle, too, for getting randomly fired.
Yeah.
I think there's something about people over there that glorify Victor for whatever reason. And I'm like, this man will even take down his own family. I think I mentioned this in the comments. Like, he had his own daughter arrested. Mm-hmm. He's thrown his son in jail. He almost unalived a couple of his kids. Like, this man has no loyalty except for himself, but he prides himself on family, which is ironic.
Very much so. But it's like they have a glutton for punishment. Y'all keep going back over there and you know what the end result is going to be. Exactly. Just like we used to say about Adam. We was like, Adam, go build I know Keisha and I used to say that all the time. Look, go build your own company. Do your own thing instead of trying to prove yourself in the eyes and you cannot, when you're dealing, and honestly, in my opinion, and we're only talking about the character, he's a textbook narcissist. He's a textbook narcissist. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
He's a narcissist. He has weird fetishes. This man is an emotional roller coaster, but people still love him. People still fight for this man and want to work underneath him, regardless of the price and regardless of the fact that they can be thrown out on the streets by this man at any given moment, because everything is always temporary with Victor.
Right, and that's what normally what they would say a narcissist would do, is that they would actually be they're the type of individuals that keep moving the goalposts. They will never let you get their approval. They'll just let you keep jumping through hoops because they enjoy watching you do it.
Yep. But they see this man as I don't know, like a like the Washington Monument or something. Like they just have to work or be up underneath Victor, get his guidance, his grace, whatever the case is.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they know the history with this man, but oh well.
Yeah, even Cheryl Hines said that not just Kyle, but Cole and Michael. There's no way
Yep.
somebody in their right mind like Michael, who tried to stay above board and within the lines of the law, rescue you, cover for you when you come out with your hands clean, and put that woman behind maximum security, and you still feel betrayed and make them jump through hoops. You fire them, and then Michael turn around and beg to come back.
Yeah. That made no sense. I mean, I'm like, how many times has Michael been fired by this man?
They all do it. They all are drawn to try to be in Victor's good graces, and he don't let nobody get close to him. Maybe Nikki, but not 100%.
Nope. I was about to say, not even his own wife. And I feel like, out of all the employees, I feel Michael has endured the most, I guess, vitriol from this man. Mm-hmm. I mean, going to prison and risking his license and being away from Lauren all this time. I'm surprised they still had a marriage. It's just all for that Victor Newman retainer. I'm like, I figured after that man got fired, he'd be celebrating or something, but he wants to kiss the feet and I'll never understand what it is about Victor, but I guess.
Yeah, I'm like Gail. She should have accepted. Hey, Keish. She should have accepted Tucker's offer. She would have owned that. But see, here's the problem, though. And I think maybe, and let's just play with this for a second. I honestly think that she went with Victor's offer because that came with money. She would have got a company, but it was a startup. She would have had to get that company off the ground, up and running. She need the revenue. She need the funding. Victor came with the funding. So I'm wondering if that's why maybe they didn't put that in the script. But if she didn't have the money to get that train moving, Victor definitely has the money to get that train moving.
But isn't Tucker a billionaire too?
But he didn't say anything about company. Right, but he didn't say anything about giving her money. He just said he would sign the company over to you. You got to have money to run that business.
Absolutely. If she has the power, if she's able to talk to the people on the board and change their mind, she knows how to find investors for that company. Like, all she needed was to have full control. And it makes me wonder if she's regretting not taking Tucker on his offer, or was it just all about beating this man?
Well, that's a big part of it. That's a big part of it because she wanted to make him grovel, but your investor gave him a fat check. Mm-hmm. Duh, it's not like he's penniless on the street like Tom was.
Yeah, oh, poor Tom.
I know. She thought that she was going to leave him destitute. No, that dude is walking away with probably $1 billion.
On top of what he already had.
Right.
And I'm like, Victor just handed him money to go after Audra, basically, whenever he decides or gets ready.
Yep.
Like, she's a fool for this. I would gladly take that company. I would get a loan or whatever I would have to do. As long as I had full control, I would not go above and beyond to try to beat Tucker. Like, hell, he's handed me a whole company. I will write a contract to where he has no say whatsoever and just leave me alone. I'll put the pieces together and be done with it. But she wanted to work up underneath Victor.
Well, you know what? That's the interesting thing. Because if Young and the Restless could have played this right, but obviously the reason that they did that because he want to come at Jack. So it ended up that direction, right? That's where they took the storyline. But if they wanted to go in a different direction, you got women and minority-owned businesses. Only person that's doing that right now is Lauren.
Yep.
She's a
I was
woman.
gonna say
She
like,
runs a fashion house, that, is huge. Why not give her the cosmetics company that she could have ran?
that's true. But Audra would need to make friends first that
Yeah,
people
she
would
don't.
actually like
Well, do
her.
we actually see Lauren working? She pops in and out. We don't really hear a lot about anybody else working with her at Fenmore. She have workers, we know that, but we don't see them. You know what I mean? They could have easily. She got Sally, and because Sally is only temporary over at Marchetti.
Marchetti.
Eventually, Chelsea in tomorrow's episode, Connor's doing. He had a breakthrough. So I think, to me, that whole remaining part of the storyline kept them in Maryland so they could cheat. Ain't got nothing to do with Connor. But the thing is that if she comes back to Marchetti, what does that mean for Sally? Sally and her could have worked over at Glissade.
Yeah.
Yep. But they didn't do that right. If you really wanted to show inclusion and representation and stuff like that, we hardly ever see Lauren. Lauren pops in every now and then. Have a woman owned, and she's a minority business owner who's running a cosmetics house. But they wanted to use her in the process to stick it to Jack.
Yeah. Which I'm like, oh my goodness. And the last time we saw Lauren, wasn't she working with Nikki as co-CEO or something?
She was
something
covering
out of her wheelhouse.
Yeah, she was covering for Nikki while she was in rehab.
And she barely did that.
Yep. So
that was weird writing on their part.
So now what does that mean? Because eventually she gonna get kicked to the curb. Who's to say that they don't groom Claire to run that company? They trying to make her a full-fledged Newman, which her last name is also Howard. Her dad is, come on now. I guess that's nothing. Yeah, I mean, I'll be like, look, name me Eve, Claire, or whatever it is, Howard Newman. Can I carry my daddy's name too? Why I gotta give me Newman?
And that actually made me wonder if Johnny and Katie have the last name Newman, or are they Abbott's?
Oh, that's a good question. Because Billy is their father.
Yep.
Are they that? Wow.
Are they Abbott's or are they Newmans? How much influence does Victoria have?
I never thought about that. I'm going to have to look that up. I know it's got, they have a soap Wikipedia on each of the characters. I'm going to have to look that up and see, are they named Katie Abbott or Johnny Abbott or Katie Newman or Johnny Newman? I would think Abbott, though. I think Johnny would be Abbott, right?
Right.
Well, he was adopted because that's Chelsea's son. Biologically.
I
don't know. Interesting.
Unless Chelsea decides she wants to claim rights to her son. And
well, she tried. Remember, she was trying to get in where she fit in with that whole thing, and it sent her for a loop. But we also got to talk about Summer Newman, because Summer was on a warpath this week.
I wish I knew what she was really mad about, because I could understand if she wanted to have equal footing far as parenting Harrison, if she felt like she doesn't get enough time with him or whatever the case is. But she can't be mad that this man is around whoever he's around, that he changed his job, that he's changing his place to live. What is her basis of trying to get full custody? That's what they need to kind of spell out, because this seems like a lot of jealousy.
Yeah, and the thing is, she keeps saying he's making bad decisions. Okay, so the only decisions that he made is to work at Glissade and to hire Claire as the nanny, and he's squabbling with his parents. He's not abusing his son. He's not neglecting his son. He's also not, just driving drunk or on drugs or something like that. I'm trying to watch what I
Yeah.
say. He's not on any pharmaceuticals or anything, so it's like, Summer, you cannot control who Kyle is around. Harrison don't go to work with him, so it's not like he's going to be around Audra. Y'all already agreed upon Claire, so
Mm-hmm.
what's the problem?
And she kept talking about stability. I'm like, so if she gets full custody of him, what is he going to do? Live at the hotel with her?
Exactly. Exactly. And the thing is, Kyle, and like I said, Kyle is acting real crazy right now. So I don't want you guys to think I'm giving him a pass or whatever, but that man is way overgrown. If he want to move out of his mommy and daddy's house, he should. He
It's more
should.
than what Hope's doing.
You're so silly.
It's the truth. They about the same age, and she's still choosing to live on her mother's front yard. Whereas he is at least making the effort, and he's excited, got his kid excited about moving. I mean, he's making more effort than Summer is to get out that hotel.
I mean, seriously, she's up in that cabin or whatever, the tiny cabin in the woods is what I usually call it.
Mm-hmm.
But in regards to Kyle, he said, "Look, I don't want all this noise and chaos around my son. I'm not in a good place with my parents. Let me get my own place." He's talking about buying a house, not living in an apartment. He's talking about getting a house with a backyard, buy the boy a dog, have a pool. He can set up his own room. What's wrong with that, Summer?
You know why? Because she can't just pop in and whenever she wants to see Harrison.
Mm-hmm.
That's why she upset with that. Because she had to clear that with Kyle in order to see him. I think that's another reason why she's pushing that. So, and if Claire is going to that house almost every day, every night, tucking him in, taking care of him, she's going to feel some kind of way. And she's going to feel like she's being...
Uh-oh. Did you put yourself on mute? I can't hear you.
For him, if she wanted to. But she wants...
You phased out for a second.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, I was saying that Kyle made it to where she can come and spend as much time with him as she wants to, but she wants to have this high-powered career, and they get mad at the fact that she's missing out on things. So if she wanted to spend more time with Harrison, she can arrange how to make that happen. And on top of that, she's rich.
Mm-hmm.
So she could set her schedule a certain way, puts whoever else in charge, and focus on being a mom if that's what is most important to her.
Yeah, well, instead she wants to talk about a custody battle. And I don't like what she did to Daniel today, because Daniel was trying to just say, hey, have a conversation. Y'all mad, emotions are high, let everything kind of calm down and you guys talk about it. And then, she had to throw a dart talking about coming from the man who didn't have a relationship with his own daughter. I'm like, no, she didn't. No, she didn't.
That was insane. And I'm like, oh, what are you mad at? She's mad that she's not. I think it just boils down to all these other women could have access to being in Harrison's face and Kyle's face, and she doesn't have that same equal footing anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's using Harrison as, I don't want to say she's weaponizing him, but she's using that as an excuse to be up around Kyle or to see what's going on at the Abbott house, because she hasn't said how she's going to be a full-time parent to Harrison since she's trying to fight for equal custody. Like, what is her positioning? She has to first get out that hotel and actually show that she's going to make time for Harrison.
Yeah, and I also like how Daniel told her, you can't say in one breath that you need stability for this child, and then at the same time going to take this kid in the middle of a custody war.
And Lady Linda, that's my question too. She asked, does she have rights? Did she adopt him? That's what the writers need to spell out. Because the last conversation that they had, it was the same night that he got into an argument with Jack and Diane. She said she wanted to revisit the custody arrangement. And if she is able to talk with lawyers and they're saying that she has a case, then I would assume that she has legal rights to go after full custody. And plus, he awarded that to her. He can't say 1 minute, you're not his biological mother, but she's put money towards that child. She's taken a role as his mother. That boy sees her as his mother. That's her child. And if there's anything regarding any legal documents stating that she is, that is. So if she wants to exercise her right, even though it doesn't make any sense, I guess she can do that. But he can't take that role away from her after it was agreed upon, and then put that child through another set of trauma by taking another mother away from him.
Well, that's the thing. He's not the one issuing and initiating this whole thing. It's her. And when she says, I'm going to come and, based on your bad decisions, I'm going to revisit this custody arrangement. And that's when he brought up, he said, look, you're not the biological mom. I don't think you want to do that. Now, I don't think he wants to use that as a way to take that from him. He's saying that your rights are limited. So obviously there was no adoption. We haven't seen that. We haven't seen Tara sign over her rights at all. Yes, she's in prison. There are people in prison that even though they're there, they still have legal rights to the child unless they sign them away. The other thing is that all we know is that they just been co-parenting, and she's just de facto, meaning that they happen to be married. They were married when Tara came along, and so she brought a kid in tow. Ashlyn Locke found out that this kid is not his biological son; it's Kyle's. And then Kyle ended up getting custody because she went to prison because of Phyllis and Lauren. So, because she was already in the picture as a wife, she was there, saying, okay, I'll help you take care of your son, and became mom. In theory, we haven't yet seen anything to support the fact, because I've been scrubbing the internet, and nothing, even when it comes back to the whole thing of what did Tara do before she leave, the Harrison situation, how his storyline came along, there was nothing to substantiate that they even had an agreement. They just happened to be married, and a kid dropped in that family because Tara went to prison. And it happens to also be Kyle's biological kid, because he didn't even know he had a child until that whole paternity, until she blew the whistle. Ashlyn blew the whistle, and it came out that was the case. So I guess we'll have to see. Maybe they're going to pour something into this current storyline by her pushing this thing, and maybe
I think so too.
they'll write in something like, "Hey, we show that she has this, that, and the third." But
I think they'll do that.
That's possible, But if I was her, I wouldn't push it, and that's what her brother is trying to tell her. Her brother's like, look, I wouldn't do that if I were you. Not just for the situation. Even her parents, Nick and Phyllis, are like, well, I don't know if you should start talking about custody battles. Her parents, her brother, she's just like, nope, I'm going to do what I want to do. This is my son. Kyle can't be doing what he's doing, but he's not doing anything that's damaging to this child. So she needs to go take several seats, in my opinion, and just enjoy the custody arrangement that you have and mind your business. You got a whole fine man over there. A whole one. I mean, Chance, gorgeous as ever, she was ranting about that last week, and Chance sitting back there looking like, okay, why are you ranting about Kyle? You know.
I haven't really thought about Summer and Chance in a romantic way, and to be honest, I mean, I think the last scene they had was back in February, that last love scene or something in the shower, but that was pretty much it. I'm looking forward to Chance and Lily getting together. I'm hoping so. I'm hoping that's what that Kim test was last week. But she needs to, if she wanted to pursue that, well, I guess she is pursuing this. She needs to, for one, get out that hotel and show that she can provide some stability. And it's not, I mean, take Nick and Adam, for example. Nick is raising Adam's child, and he's not the biological father. And we see how that played out. And then the thing that we just mentioned with Chelsea, where she was trying to go after and get her child that's biologically hers and would have lost. It really just depends on how the storyline is going to go, but the writers need to spell out what type of rights that Summer has, because no lawyer is going to tell her that she has enough for a case to go after full custody unless she had some legal footing to back that up.
And that's the other thing. Just say even if she did have whatever substantial rights, she still doesn't have any reasons of why they should take custody or why she should be the custodial parent. He's not doing anything to his son. He's not neglecting, not traumatic events happening to him. You know, he's not on any pharmaceuticals. You know, he's not being reckless or, you know, things like that. She doesn't even if she had some legal standing, you don't even have reasons to come to court to say, this is why I need to do what you can't say, well, he making bad decisions because he chose to work with that woman over there and he chose this woman to be a nanny.
Yeah.
and he's squabbling with his parents. Okay. They're going to be like, okay, so what does this have to do with the boy? I mean, and he's is he taking him out of that environment? Well, yes, he's moving into a house away from his mom and dad to get his own place. Okay, and the problem is where, ma'am? So, I mean, even if she has an order, she don't have any reasons.
That's why I feel like they need a mediator. They shouldn't really have to go through a custody battle because they both keep stressing about how this is going to affect Harrison. So then they both need to mediate and come to some agreement. And she needs to provide stability same way. I mean, at least he's trying to get about the house and trying to get a house.
Right.
She's been at that hotel for the past couple of years and she hasn't made a move out that place yet.
Exactly. And she runs a multi-international fashion house. Yeah, because Marchetti is a fashion house.
And she got a bit of coins in her little pocketbook. I'm pretty sure she can get a house on her own. And not to mention, she's a Newman heir. So there's no excuse for why she's still in that hotel and then crying about stability for Harrison. She needs to provide that for herself first before she decides to go after custody. That's why I'm like, be mad that, you know, all these people are spending time with Harrison, then she needs to make adjustments so she can be a mother to Harrison or make changes within her own life to be there for her son. But I don't know, we shall see though.
Tommy said, are we Team Jack or Team Victor? I'm Team neither.
Yeah, no, neither one. You had a very emotional man and you had the dumbest man in the world. I can't even pick the lesser of the two evils, to be honest.
Exactly. So, yeah, we got some interesting storylines. The only other one, and we can, you know, quickly touch on before we run into bold, is this whole thing with the cheating of Adam and Chelsea, and they tiptoeing around their partners about, because he flat out lied to Sally. Sally was like, did something happen in Baltimore? No, we're good. Yeah, no, we're fine. Yeah, okay.
This is like the worst parenting I've ever seen. Why the hell did they leave Marilyn. First of all, they're crying and inventing to each other, drinking in a hotel, and they find comfort sleeping with each other. And then they decide they want to leave Maryland because of that decision. You would think that with all this worry and anxiety about what's happening with their son, they would be there beating down doors, looking to speak with the doctors, or hell, yank their son from out of the facility, put him someplace else so they can have access to his son. He's not in jail. That's the part I don't understand, why they can't have any access to their son. But they're quick to hop on a plane and leave to go get comfort from Sally or from Billy after sleeping together. So they had time to do that, but not check and see what's wrong with their son.
Yeah. They're going to be, tomorrow, the Billy and Sally is going to be suspicious of the two of them. They supposed to both couples are supposed to have dinner with each other over at Society, and they're going to be acting real funny at that table. So.
They both get what's coming to them.
Like, I don't even know why the writers decided to backtrack and had them sleep together anyway. It wasn't like we want a Chelsea and Adam reunion. No.
No. It was just... I mean, I can understand, and I'm not being insensitive to what they're going through as parents. That's why it's frustrating to watch this, because any normal parent would have access and be able to lay eyes on their child because it's still a child. Not have a facility tell you what to do about your own child. No, he's not in jail.
Right. Exactly. Girl. Whew, it was a lot to unpack these last few days. It's been, especially, I got to give it to Michael Mueller. He's been acting his butt off.
And I think that drinking is going to come into play, because even when he was arguing with Summer, he was having a drink. He was drinking the night before. Something tells me that alcohol is going to be his downfall, and maybe that's how he might possibly lose custody.
Well, we shall see. All right. We got to now jump into bold. Had several things going on this week. I got to say, Donna and Brooke. Well, Brooke is still trying to say, hey, I ain't a fan of you and Thomas. I was just going along to get along. But Donna, oh my God. I cannot believe. I'm like, girl, please. You don't want him. You don't want that girl with Thomas either, or you didn't at one point. So what are you talking about?
I don't understand her positioning. With Brooke made no sense today. She was saying that, I think I was talking to Keisha about this. She was saying that you're trying to get with Thomas to get over your feelings for Finn. I'm like, no, it was the other way around. But the way that the Logans were making this relationship between Hope and Thomas, like this great love affair, was comical to me. I think they just hate losing.
I agree with that.
I think that's what it boils down to. But they weren't wrong. This man is still in love with Hope, and she's in love with this man. Thomas does not give a damn about Paris, and that's just my opinion. There's no person in their right mind who says they're completely over someone, propose to someone to make a point, and then keep it a secret. No, that's disrespectful to her. No.
Okay, hold on a second, because I'm typing join the Facebook. While you was talking, I wanted to make sure I dropped the link in there, because did you see the numbers go up in the Facebook group?
I've seen a lot of the numbers go up. The numbers are definitely going up in the chat as well. Almost over 100 people so far.
I see. I think you said it was like 95 in there. And thank you guys for supporting the Facebook group. That number jumped really quickly over the past week. And if you want to come up in there, we have a lot of conversation. I want to throw that in there. We have a lot of conversation in there. I drop spoilers in there. All types of other things. Dewan and Jenna and Delmonica have been cutting up in there as well. and putting their stuff in there. So I appreciate all of you guys that are in there keeping up the engagement. So thank you very much. So if you want to join the Facebook group, the link is in the chat right now. Cool beans? Cool beans. Okay, back to Bold. Yeah, it's like they don't want to lose. Brooke, and it's like, oh my God, I don't expect Thomas to ever get over Hope. It's like, okay, I'll give, here's the thing. Can he still have feelings for this woman? Sure, I agree. That don't mean they need to be together.
I agree with that.
And
We've been saying it
hold on,
about Broken Bridge.
yeah, I don't think that they don't necessarily need to be together because they don't want the same things. I mean, if you're not on the same page, no matter what your feelings are about each other, outside of that bedroom, y'all not going to be driving the car the same direction. Because it's one thing to have, as Hope said, this passion and all of this. Don't you remember everything? And okay, that's fine. But y'all want two different things. You don't want to ever get married because he asked her, you don't want to get married if ever. And he was like, see, she didn't even deny it. It'd be different if she was like, look, I'm not saying I don't want to get married now. Maybe in a year or two, or maybe in 5 years. She don't know if she'll ever want to marry this man. And at that point, if you don't have an end goal or end date, I don't care how much I like you, I'm out. Because I got to find somebody who's on the same page that I'm on. Or I'm on their same page as well. Those two are not. That dude want a marriage, wife, kids, and stuff like that. And Hope ain't willing to get that to him.
She was willing to be in a relationship with him. But she said repeatedly she is not sure she wants to marry any man. She just is not in a marriage mindset. I mean, she was stuck with Liam, and as basic as that was, she's like, I don't think I want to go through that again. But at the same time, she's made that clear to Thomas, and he kept saying, okay. After the second time, he left, went to Paris, and he still came back and still focused on Hope still. That's who he wants. And what would have happened if she had said yes? I'll accept your third proposal.
I don't think he would have believed her. Because that was the whole purpose of that whole spoiler, was that to prove a point. He wanted to prove to the fact that he knew exactly that girl didn't want to get married. Like you say, she's been saying it for the past year since they got together. And so what would have changed now after 12 months? Because actually today, July 10, 2023, a year ago, this is when they first consummated that whole, and I put that in my recap earlier because I know y'all heard me always talk about the July 10th episode of last year. It was July 10th, and a year later, talking about that. She's always, like you said, Bree, she's always said, oh, I don't think I want to do the marriage thing, blah, blah, blah. So he already know. Just from the first turn downs of those two proposals, and he put that out there. Do you want to marry me? Knowing that she was going to say no, because she's been saying no for the last year. So, I mean, the thing is, she had to realize at this point that I don't want to get married. I know I don't want to get married. He wants to get married. I told him I really don't want to do that because she want to sleep with him. I don't know if she technically want to be in a full-fledged relationship with him. She loves screwing him.
We know that. But she keeps saying that she's in love with this man and that her kids have bonded to the point where Douglas is calling us his little sister. They've, at least in the writing, they've established that they had some form of relationship. It wasn't just sleeping with each other. But he felt it was enough to try to move forward into marriage, and she just wasn't in that place. And I applaud him for wanting to at least try to move on, but he hasn't moved on from that girl. He is perfectly fine catering to this girl's feelings, having these private conversations behind Paris's back. That's why I was so upset with this girl for not walking in, or at least kicking down the door. As soon as she saw Hope and Thomas get close together, it was like, look, that's my man. He's over you. He's moved on, and let that be. But now there's still this little bit of intimacy between Thomas and Hope, to where he's looking at her across the room, and she's looking over there. There's still this passion, to the point where other people were pointing out and calling Paris a rebound. This man is not over her, because she could have said yes to be very petty if she wanted to kind of bide her time until she was ready.
And then he could, like I say, I think he would have called her bluff and said, I don't believe you. Why are you ready now? What makes you ready now than you was 10 minutes ago? Because they had the conversation in the office, and she said that she wasn't ready, which was like the day before in soap time. And then the next day you're going to say, oh yes, I'm ready. You'll be like, wait a minute, you just told me yesterday you wasn't. What changed? So I don't think he would have believed her. We'll never know, because she wasn't. She said no, and he said, okay, see, I proved it. You don't want it. Do I think that he still have residual feelings there? Yes, but they don't want the same thing, and I think that's where the issue is. I mean, she says she loves him. I think it's lust. I really do. Lust, because the whole thing with Douglas and Beth, they were already brother and sister before they started sleeping with each other. So, I mean, he already had that connection with Beth long time ago from the adoption and when Beth came along. But in regards to them two, yeah, they really have a physical connection, but they got two separate life goals. And at this point, I mean, she's been married. Somebody said in the comment section, she's been married like 5 times already.
And that's enough to want to pump the brakes on getting married. But she's not turning this man down. She wanted a relationship with him. She wanted to raise their kid together. So it's not like she was turning down him, and she kept reiterating that. She's like, I'm just not focused on marriage right now. Wait, it's okay for him.
Your phone kind of did something squirrely. I don't know, Instagram, you know how it does. Because it like cut out. Yeah. And like, you know how when your signal kind of goes out and it slurs part of your word?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
But she wanted a relationship with this man. She just didn't want to think about marriage right now, which that is perfectly fine. Same way it's perfectly fine for him to find a partner who wants that. It's just not all the way genuine, in my opinion, with Thomas and Paris, because Paris wants to marry this man. She's happy to have his kids and have the Forrester mansion, whatever the case is. He's not all the way there. He's trying, and I think that's the thing that he keeps stressing. He's trying to get over Hope. But if Hope were to change her mind and say that she wants to have his babies and be his wife, he's going to drop Paris. And even though he tested Hope, the fact that he even said that shows that he has not gotten over this woman. And that's the direction that he wishes that he could go in. He wants to be with Hope, not Paris. He can try all day, try as he might to try to get over Hope, but it's just not happening anytime soon. I think that's why he's trying to push to go ahead and move forward with the marriage, thinking that it would help him move forward.
Let's see. Wait a minute. I saw something in the comment section. Where'd it go?
106 people. My goodness, y'all.
It's a lot of y'all. I don't know where it went, because the comments be moving. I should have just paused it and held it at that point. But yeah, he just don't want the relationship without the commitment, and she wants the relationship on her terms. That's what it was. I saw somebody said that. Hope want a relationship on her terms. And
a lot of people do.
Right, but when you're in a relationship or a marriage, you should be interdependent. That's the thing. It's got to be something where you both decide to want the same thing. And when they don't want the same thing, and she just I want to be able to have access to you, Thomas, but anything else with commitment, marriage, or anything like that, I'm not trying to do that right now. And like you said, she have every right not to. She don't have to do that. She been married like 5 times, like somebody said. At the same time, he doesn't have, even though he's tried it for a while, he was like, I can't do this no more. I want somebody that's going to want what, I'm looking for as well. And, that's when that whole thing, he decided to say, nah, I'm moving on. And he had every right to do that. He don't have to wait around to see. Because he didn't say he can't wait for hope in another year. She don't even know, if ever. So, I mean, for him to want that type of commitment, to wait around and not sure if you ever get that, that would be doing yourself a disservice.
Absolutely. And I agree with that.
Yep.
It's just for him to still have lingering feelings while he has a whole fiance is unfair to Paris. That's why I can't take this as genuine. Well, for one, I cannot take like the nothing wrong with the actors, but that chemistry, it's just not there. I'm sorry, y'all. It's just not there. In comparison to Matt Atkinson and Annika, it's just not the same. And that's why I was hoping, if anything, he would come back with, I was not expecting Paris. As beautiful as she is and talented as she is, I was not expecting it be Paris. It's just very awkward to watch on screen unless, are people for Thomas and Paris? Did they see a connection romantically?
Let's ask. Hey, how many people in that chat? Oh, thank you, Dale Monica. Yeah, only 45 likes. Come on, you guys. Hit that like button. How many people in the chat, Bree?
103. It's been going steady. Thank you guys so much.
All right, so it's 103 of you guys. We got some people that's up front and center and putting messages in the chat, and we got some ninja watchers in the background. You got people that had to put on a mask and be hiding and listening. I ain't saying nothing in this chat, but that's cool too.
The writers.
Yeah, the writers. All right, you guys, we're going to do a poll, and I'm going to give it a couple minutes because I know YouTube is like a difference in time between the time that you hear what I say and when it come across. If you guys in the chat can see an opportunity for Thomas and Paris, drop a 1 in the chat. If not, drop a 2 in the chat. So 1 if you can, see a connection, or 2 if no. Let's see.
I just personally don't see a connection. Even when they kiss, it's just, I think they had like maybe one good day and that was that Friday, but I just can't see them romantically. It's just very awkward in comparison to Thope. I cannot see it. A lot of 2s.
Yep. Look at Keisha.
And where did 3 come from, Keisha?
Look at Keisha. Oh my gosh. They are too funny. Okay, so we got a lot of 2s. So you got some folks that's not really seeing the connection. We barely, Medora said we barely see them together.
But even with the little bit that we've seen in the kisses and the interaction where they had those little private moments, like I see them trying, but it's just not the same chemistry or connection that, at least draws me in as a viewer to support it and be like, I want these 2 to make it.
Taji got freaking all type of emojis in there. That is hilarious.
Very expressive. I see that. But Paris just needs a guy in her age group. Like RJ would be the right age group for her. She should be going back and forth.
Older than them. Um, she's 20. She'll be 26 this year, technically. So, and I know, like, the other one, they're like, what, 20, 21, 22, something like that. So, I mean, I guess maybe that's why they pushed her toward, the whole thing with Thomas. I don't know. It could go back to the fact that he initially had interest. She turned him down. Then she came back. She had interest, and that didn't happen. Then they started with the dope thing. So whatever they decide to do, I'm going with the storyline. I want to see how it plays out. And I keep watching the spoilers and see how it go, because as much as the residual feelings that she's conflicted when she's thinking about Finn.
Hope needs therapy. I think Gail Lewis said B&B needs to cast an actress who plays a therapist. And yes, her first client should be Hope. I agree.
Yeah, Hope. Or they're just trying to turn her into Brooke 2.0.
I think so too.
I think that's where they're going with this, because she keep bringing up, don't be like me, don't be like me, don't be like me. And that's exactly what's happening.
And I think Anna can really push the levels. And I want to kind of see her go in that direction. I want Hope for the Future to fail so she can model the bedroom line, or the Brooke Logan bedroom line, because we know Brooke's not going to do it. She's Christian and a saved woman apparently, and has washed all her sins away, and preaching about don't do my 304 ways to her daughter, which I was cracking up every time she says that. But I think that is the direction she's going in, and that's why I keep saying in the chat, like, these men leave the door open for her, same way Ridge and every other man left the door open for Brooke to do her worst, and that's why she has the reputation that she has.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's because, so think about Hope coming into her storyline over the past. She was a little girl for a long time, and then they aged her. She came in as Kim Matula, and she was this good girl, virtuous. They tried to portray her hope for the future, and women, young girls, being saving themselves and keeping their chastity and all of that. I think what's happening right now is what they're trying to do is break her loose from that, because obviously that's not what's popular in the world right now. I'm just saying. And so it's like all about exploring your sexuality. I don't have to be married. I mean, look at what they did when Audra was proposed to. She says, I don't want to get involved with that archaic institution. So, I mean, it's kind of like they're trying to downplay marriage and pretty much have it where it seems to be something where, just, I kind of want to do my own thing. I just want to focus on my career, raise my kids, and, have a person to hook up with. And I think they're kind of moving her out of what she used to be. Because, I mean, they changed the wardrobe, they cut the girl hair. I think they're trying to transition Hope at this point. And, of course, turning her into Brooke 2.0. But now it's in this whole sexual exploration type of phase she's in.
And I'm here for it, because they need something like that on the show. They have no villains, and they have no actively working 304s on the show. The last person who retired was Brooke, and she is sanctified and Christian now. She don't even want to model her own pair of draws designed by Ridge. So someone has to do it. And I think Hope's line is going to fail. I think Thomas is going to work on the Brooks bedroom line. And that's how Thomas and Hope are going to get wrapped back up into each other again.
Yeah, well, we'll see. The other thing that happened also is we saw Finn double down trying to let Steffy know that ain't nothing coming between us. I mean, they had this whole recommitment to each other or something.
Yeah.
Which to me, and then they show Hope in that whole prelude. I mean, that whole mixture of a screen, which is at the top up there, where she's looking like I'm coming for him. So, yes, I see a grenade being lobbed.
And the thing is, I don't think this woman has any real feelings towards Finn, because she's been all about Thomas, crying over Thomas. The moment he leaves, Finn is all of a sudden in her eyesight because he's giving her time and attention, whether he is trying to be intentional or not. He's still giving her and feeding her ego and is just giving her what she was missing from Thomas, except for the D. That's the only thing. And it's been a while. She's horny. I get that. But she does not want this man. And that's why the conversation she had with Brooke earlier today, where she was like, you're trying to go and get back with Thomas because of your feelings for Finn. I'm like, she does not care for Finn like that. Not even in the slightest. It was something for her to bide her time. And on top of that, her fantasizing about him or even thinking about getting with him is only just to get at Steffy. That would be the only benefit or gain for him. A gain for her, I mean. Because, I mean, what is she going to do? Get with a married man after telling the single man that she doesn't want to accept his ring? That makes no sense.
Yeah, well, the writers don't make no sense. I mean, that's why they're at the bottom right now. The other thing is with, I don't know. Hope is feeling something. She sees something in Finn that each one of those men used to provide. You know, Liam is a good father. He just can't be faithful. He's a good father. You know, he take care of his kids. He just can't be faithful. Thomas can be faithful, but he got all that history. Finn has neither of the two. So it's kind of like, and I think that's what that whole conversation go back about 2-3 weeks ago that she had with Brooke in the design office about them being kindred spirits, is the fact that a little piece of Liam and a little piece of Thomas makes Finn. Because Finn doesn't have all that bad history like Thomas has. And Liam is a known cheater between, you know, her and Steffy, but he has all those other qualities of being a good dad. Finn has both. He's not a cheater, as we see as of yet, and he's very supportive of his kids, his family, you know, I guess, and that's what I say, I guess, and that's what she wants. She wants a piece of Liam and a piece of Thomas wrapped up in Finn.
I think she likes everything that's wrong for her. I think as much, and we'll go down with each guy. Like with Liam, as many times as this man cheated on her, for whatever reason, she kept getting pulled back, even though she knew that was the wrong man. The things that happened with Thomas, I think she wanted to have that edge, that bad boy, whatever. And with Finn, this man is married and she knows it is wrong to fantasize about him. I think she likes everything that is wrong for her at this moment. And as good as Finn is, he's not available. He is married. So her fantasizing about getting a married man is only going to end badly for her. But I think that's just kind of what's maybe driving that attraction. Is wrong, but it's right. And the fact that she can use it to stick it to Steffy, because she's blaming Steffy for Thomas leaving and her line feeling and whatever else is going on in her life. This is going to tug at Steffy's heartstrings if Finn decides to get with Hope, because it's a two-way street and he made this whole dedication to his wife, so we don't know if he's going to actually go through with the cheating part. But for her, she's liking everything that's wrong, kind of like how Brooke was for many years.
Medora said Liam was married when she got married. What are you referring to, Medora?
When you got married?
I don't know. That's what she was saying. I'm wondering if she was saying Liam was married to Steffy when I don't get it. I guess she'll clarify that. That question had kind of confused me a little bit. But I actually think those two probably are perfect for each other. It's just that he's legally bound to Steffy.
You think they're perfect for each other? I do not see the chemistry with those two. I just
It's just the thing is, Bold has kept. One thing about Bold that's different than the Young and the Restless is that Bold used to rotate partners faster, and because they've stuck him with,
Steffi.
stuck him with Steffi for 4 years. By now, we would have had Steffi and probably Finn would have been with somebody else by now. But because of the shortage of actors, they don't usually have everybody. They got rid of all those good people and stuff. They've been stuck together for so long. It's kind of like, can we actually see him and Steffi now without each other? Whereas we would get that bounce back and forth. One moment we see Liam with Steffi. One moment we see her with Hope. We see him with what's her girl named Sally. With Ivy. So there was a lot of rotation going on. And especially on his part. But I mean, up and before she cheated she cheated. Before she cheated with Thomas and left that marriage, her and Liam been together as long as Steffi and Finn has, or longer, because haven't had any issues since. Well, we had that whole thing with Hayes, but that was 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. And Finn still took Steffi back. And
right. But what I'm saying is that we've been seeing these couples together stuck for so long that they haven't, like right now we got to switch up. They tested Sally with Adam, then they tested Chance with Lily, then they tested Daniel and Tessa. We're seeing constant Kim tests on the Young and the Restless, and maybe some switch ups and swaps and stuff. Like Audra went on to Nate. She's trying to get Audra's with Nate now, but with Tucker and Kyle, and we had Summer first with Kyle, and now she's with Chance. There's a lot of movement when it comes to relationships. Over here, they've been together too long. It's like, okay, can we now test them? Let's get them going. They've been stuck for a while. So maybe that could be a reason why. I don't know. Plus, go ahead.
She doesn't have many options.
Well, that's why Bell need to bring on more people. He had a lot of folks. He keep letting them go and putting them all on recurring.
Right. Like it's like everyone is related to one another for the most part. Finn is like the only other option that she's not really related to, and she doesn't have kids. Well, technically they're stepbrother and sister, but technically so are Hope and Thomas too. But they need to kind of mix things up a whole lot more. And it's not to say there's nothing wrong with the actors, with whatever. It's just the chemistry is just not there between Finn and Hope. And the thing is, we were spoiled with Hope. Like, that chemistry was hot. Like, it's hard to, find other characters that can raise the bar like that. And that makes me wonder why they're trying to put Scene back together, too.
Well, here's the thing, Bree, though, is that Annika and Matt made that chemistry happen. So remember how we saw back in the day with Sally and Adam? Everybody was like, oh my God, we want them back. When they turned down the heat in that particular scene, it was like, we really don't care to see them anymore. So I think if you're going to bring in chemistry, you got to act that chemistry into the script. And if they give Finn the opportunity to, because right now he's like just prim, proper doctor, nice guy. If they kind of take him on the dark side, a little bit, and maybe get him to open up and bloom along with Hope, they make him bring that out of each other. We haven't seen Tanner do that part of his acting. Whereas we know what Matt been doing that even when he played Austin Travers over on The Young and the Restless. He always know how to bring the bedroom chemistry to any character. He did it with Hunter King. He did it with the girl that plays Avery. He just know how to connect in that script when it comes to those type of moments. And so does Annika. She did it in that movie that Jay Money was talking about. They just know what to do. And so those other actors, if you're going to have chemistry, they got to bring that chemistry into their acting as well.
Exactly. That's why, no shade to the actress who plays Paris. It's just the chemistry between those two is just not there in comparison to J-Matt and Annika. It's on a different level, different stratosphere. But if they brought on some fresh new people to kind of mix things up, then we could, try to see who else they could work with and get something fresh as far as storylines. But, well, this is the direction that we're going in, I guess. And as far as what I'm viewing, I do not see this Hope and Finn thing lasting long. I feel like this is smoke and mirrors. I feel this is to swerve us until they get the storyline together for Thope and put them back together.
Jenna, yeah, Steffy, and she's another one that has the acting skills to bring that type of energy to a bedroom scene. She did that with Tanner. She also did that with Scott. So, that's why you would see that whole chemistry there. I just think they kind of need to move these folks around. I'm open to them moving these people around. I mean, otherwise we're going to be stuck with the same coupling for the next several years, which they already have been guilty of doing so far. They're not doing, besides them arguing over, Steffy and Hope arguing, we really don't have any other. Well, we got the Bill and that whole thing with Luna, and then we trying to finish up Tom and his murder mystery. But I think that's probably one of the reasons that they're at the bottom, is because they really haven't had any movement with the characters. They just haven't. And when they threw Thope in there in 2023, it just blew it wide open. Yeah. And it's hard to come back from, which even if Paris and Thomas are the real deal and they're going to get married and go back to Europe, the problem is that you've raised the bar so high with their acting last year. It's like, okay, can nobody top it? We've been trying to top it with everybody else from both shows. Nobody can top it.
Nope.
And a lot of people, go ahead, Bree.
Yeah, that's why I said that's why the love scenes on Y&R are slow paced elevator music. They're not fun to watch. It's just no spice, no nothing over there.
Yep. And they should have done that with all of the couples. We haven't seen Finn and Steffy in a hot love scene. I think Keish said 2.5 years.
Exactly. And Jacqueline has snapped all the way back. She'd be perfectly fine to throw on some lingerie and do some love scenes, but they're not even worried about even trying to do that with these two because they know they're about to break up.
Right. We had 2 separate spoilers. We had the one for today, and then we had another one a couple months back where there's a steamy moment between Steffy and Finn. They didn't even get undressed. This was a conversation today. They talked. They had a kiss and they talked. And recommitted staying away from Sheila.
Yeah, and that was it.
That's it.
That's all.
So if you're going to want to bring... You got one married couple on the show right now besides She-Con. And, that whole thing is in a whole different direction because of the Tom thing. You got Bill and Poppy, which... Okay. It's just... They got to do a better job of bringing love scenes back to the soaps.
Yeah, that's what I really miss. And I wish they just cross people over because Hope and Kyle would be perfect for each other. Let them spiral together.
Yeah. I mean, crossover, put Adam and Steffy. I would be okay with that. Bring Sally back. Bring Sally
Yes.
back over. She can deal with Liam. Again, unfinished business.
The writers, because we know you guys listen, because we finally got a tear from Finn, y'all. I was so proud of that. So they are listening. I'm kidding. I hope they are listening.
Right.
But you guys are on the same production studio. Cross people over. It wouldn't be hard to get someone over from Genoa City to LA.
Well, they bringing Cricket and Danny out there next month.
I'm so excited.
Oh, that is so crazy to me. It's like, why? They went to Paris and run into Tracy. And that was cool. I actually liked that interaction this week when we saw Tracy and Alan and Danny and Cricket go on a date. I thought that was cute. Because there was no Phyllis drama.
Yeah, it was really cute. And that's why I was rooting for Tracy. See, a fresh new character for one of our legacy characters. And it's fun, it's exciting, even though, I mean, I'm looking forward to see what happens with those two, even though I think it's Martin. But it's a fresh new perspective. I think Bold should take note with that.
Yep, I agree. One other thing before we kind of wind down is Hollis. Hollis go in the stock room and find Tom's backpack. I'm curious what's in there.
I think it's going to connect. Something tells me it's going to connect Tom and Poppy. I'm wondering, since he brought up the fact that he wrote Poppy and Luna letters, maybe those letters are probably in his bag.
Now, did he say they were returned to him?
At that part, I don't remember. But what if it's like a necklace or something that's going to tie Poppy in to where she's got to explain herself. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering if Deacon's going to put the pieces together, because Tom went over to Bill's house. So Luna and Poppy know that man was there either the night before or the day before or something like that. I wonder if Deacon's going to put those pieces together, that Poppy was involved with that man. But I don't know. Something tells me it's going to have to do with her.
You know what? I was thinking about something you just said. And it was about Kyle and Hope. They should have him fly out or her fly out. They get together, have a business meeting. There's mutual attraction. They do a one-night stand. They fly back and have secret conversations with each other.
They're perfect for each other. He's not looking for marriage. She's looking to screw. They're both focused on their careers. They're both spiraling out of control. This is perfect. Put them together.
I agree. I'm and make it fun where they're having these secret calls. Brooke come in and be like, "Who are you talking to?" "Oh, nobody, just some friend."
And she loves a rich man.
I mean, or Summer comes in and he just get off the phone with her. "I'm here to pick up Harrison." You got a big smile on your face. What's going on? "Oh, nothing. I'm just..." And they secretly... What happened to the secret rendezvous where nobody knows but them, and they go off to a hideaway or something like that? That type. And I mean, I don't want to be Hallmark, okay? But you know what I'm saying? It gives that extra something. Yes.
I highly agree with that. They need to do that. Put Summer with Liam. They need crossovers. This would help save the show. That's why I'm wondering what they're going to do to fill in that talk space. I know we talked a little bit about it in the group chat, but
I think that's what the Gates is going to be, isn't it?
But will it be on for an hour or for 30 minutes?
I don't know. I thought it was a 30-minute show, but I'm not sure.
If they extend Bold for like an hour and really, move forward with the casting and add some fresh people, that could really help the show, or at least cross people over. especially since they're on the same production set, they can really make that happen. But, you know, maybe that's wishful thinking. Maybe I'm wishing the writers, producers, Red Bill, if you guys are listening, please listen to these suggestions because we want to keep all the shows.
Yep, I agree. But yeah, this whole thing is really going to get ramped up on the Tom mystery. Jack and Lee are going to be keeping secrets about everything that happened that night with Tom. And it's like, y'all, at first they barely wanted to speak to each other. Now y'all got them keeping secrets together. Okay, well, I'll see how that work out.
Maybe they just slept together.
I mean, I wouldn't even, at this point, besides Hope running amok in her head, I wouldn't mind seeing Jack and Lee make up sex. She ain't got to marry him again. It's just like, hey, you know, for old time's sake.
You're right. She needs it. I was hoping she hooked up with Justin too. I mean, get her an awakening. She needs to wake up. She needs to put a smile on her face. You know, not be so stiff. You know, well, clearly it wasn't all that great because she came down on Finn earlier this week.
Girl, I wouldn't mind seeing Justin go for Poppy.
Right?
Justin go for Poppy and Bill get pissed off.
I mean, something needs to be shaken up on Bold, and that's all we were just trying to preach to you because we left the show.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of opportunities that's like right there. Especially if you bring in, I don't know, who knows, they might pull we only see Justin once, which is stupid. But if they have Justin come back, throw a little something in there, he get to flirting with Poppy looking like, some chocolate. You know, I mean, she's that type of girl. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and kind of throw something in. She secretly started texting and talking to Justin on the side and dealing with Bill, trying to get his money. That's what soaps used to be about.
Right. Like, spice it up, Bold writers, please. We know you can do, if you guys were able to do that with soap, whatever you can do with some of these characters or whoever you can add on, just bring it to us. We want the excitement and the thrill of watching the soaps again.
Hey, Melissa Spencer said, what about Jack and Brooke?
I said that earlier this week, too.
But Keish, what you laughing at?
Probably at some of the comments. I'm looking at them, too.
Listen,
yeah, Justin does look good, Delmonica. I agree.
Yeah, Lee needs to have somebody come knock them cobwebs out. It's been a while. That dude, that was in 2021, 22 when they broke up. So it's been 3 years. She's at a 3-year drought.
And that's why she's mad. And it's okay. If she get a man, if Tracy can get a man on Y&R, give Lee a man too. Okay?
Man.
So she can worry about her own business.
Right. You know, it's like, I'm trying to think quickly because I know we got to watch the other show. Who else would I cross over? I wouldn't mind seeing Hollis with Hope.
I can't see that. And I was surprised that Luna and Hollis hung out. So maybe he's in that age category.
Girl,
outside
that man is old. I don't even know why they put that in there. That man is not 20.
He's in his 20s, I guess.
Yeah, but that's why Bill was looking crazy when he said that, because that dude looking like he about 28, 29 years old.
But they text each other, hanging out with each other. I just can't see.
I can't.
And as much as Hope goes in and out that restaurant and her dad owns it, she has not given Hollis any mind whatsoever.
But I'm saying what they do is put him, if they can give Deacon a restaurant, have him put in a position where his talent is being used at a level where he could date somebody like Hope.
I mean, depends on how long Hollis is going to last, depending on that scream that Sheila had. I don't think Hollis is gonna last that long.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be out of here.
Yep, something's gonna happen.
But
But put Lee with Ridge.
Who?
Lee and Ridge can get together. Like they just need to mix some things up. Put Lee and Carter. Could you imagine?
Well, no. What about Carter and Poppy? Because Lee, I can't see that one.
I just want to see her run behind couches, being pinned against the wall. She needs that now. She of all people needs that. Poppy has already had several seats on top of Richmond. Let Lee have her chance.
Oh, Crystal said Carter and Hope.
I'm surprised they never went that direction.
They never even went the direction of Carter and Steffy either.
I wonder if he's on the back burner for a reason.
Oh no, but I remember with Steffy, Joshua Morrow was interested in being a love interest with Steffy. He said that in an article. So Nick and Steffy?
I cannot see that. I would rather Steffy and Adam together versus her and Nick together. Personally, I just can't see that.
I wouldn't mind seeing Nick and Katie together.
Even though they played brother and sister.
Yeah, well, this is bold, so.
Actually, put Nick and Don, like, there's see how we're able to come up with, like, fresh storylines, fresh perspectives. They need to really do some crossovers at this point, since they're not looking to hire other people. Okay, get someone from one set to the other and call it a day, and we're fine.
You know what? Angela Taylor and Deacon did have great chemistry.
Yes, I was so upset that they got rid of Krista Allen. Like, her and Ridge were great together.
I know.
And he looked happy to be with her, too.
Well, here's the thing. We all know Krista has a history of playing heavily romantic scenes, so she know what to do. She has a history, so... And for those,
on Showtime.
On Cinemax.
on one of those programs. So we know she has no problem with those scenes. It's just... It was a disservice to fans that they got rid of her.
Right.
And I hope they regret that decision and bring her back.
Tell me about it. All right, you guys. We're going to end it right here. And, quick announcement. There will not be a chat on Friday night. My niece is turning 25 and she's having her big birthday dinner downtown Chicago. So I will be there. So, I know I was talking to you guys, Bree, about Sunday afternoon. I might look into Saturday as well. Are you got stuff going on Saturday?
I believe I should be fine Saturday. Just as long as I have a heads up, I think it should be fine.
Yeah, I'll let you guys know which day I pick, either Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon. But Friday night, I will put it in the stories on Instagram. I'll put it in the community tab here on this channel. No live, because I'll be with family. So, all right, you guys. Have a great one, and don't forget to hit that like button on the way out. Subscribe. If you want to join the Facebook group, the link is in the comment section. All right, we'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.